So please do not go anywhere because we got a lot to talk about with one of the members of Salam Music Group as well here today at the JayC Show. And a little fun fact, for those who are in the creative industry business, do not lose hope, because recently I read an article about a couple of weeks ago about creative industry being an untapped market for our country. Now imagine if creative industry can be well supported and tapped in, we can contribute to the economics of our country as well, because other countries has been doing that as well. Like for example, for Korea or Philippines or Indonesia, there's a lot for them that they did for the creative industry. And Korea itself, I mean, with the success of K-pop groups and everything like that, has contributed to their country's economy. And I believe that Malaysia has that opportunity as well. And one of the good signs to actually start something is TVS. I mean, we launched in October, and now we've opening a lot of platforms for creative industry here in Sarawak. So this is the best time to do it. So bagi sesiapa yang berminat dalam dunia kreatif, jangan putus asa. Kita mungkin adalah masa depan untuk Malaysia, all right, for economic boost. So stick around, we'll be back after this commercial breaks at the JayC Show. All right, welcome back to the show. And now, without further ado, I'd like to bring out our guest for this episode. He's none other than Atjap from Salam Music Group. Hello, Atjap, how are you?
What's up? I'm good.
What up, man? All right, as I was told now it's late at night here in Malaysia, and I'm sure it's quite early in the morning over there in Amsterdam. How you been doing, man? How you been doing?
Yeah, it's quite early. It's like 10:30. I mean, that's early for me.
Yeah, man. So now before we move on to some work stuff, how long have you been in Amsterdam? Is it throughout the whole pandemic, 2020? Have you been back to Malaysia?
Yeah, throughout the whole pandemic. Actually, I was here since February.
Oh, February. Okay.
Yeah. And we
That's cool.
perform here and did like a couple of shows in August, but then
Awesome.
Yeah,
and then the unfortunate happens. All right, so now basically, I bet this is your first time live on Sarawak Television, because as you know, we just launched about a couple months ago. And kepada semua penonton di Sarawak Neto adalah Atjap daripada kumpulan Salam Music. So maybe in brief, you can tell a little bit about yourself, just in brief, because I bet some of you already have fans in Sarawak, because man, you've been around, man. So what have you been up to lately, and what works have you been putting up to in Europe? Maybe you can share sedikit with our viewers here in Sarawak.
So my name is Atjap again. I'm from the band called Salam Music. I'm a singer and a songwriter. We have been, making music since 2010 or so. And recently we released our third album, which is called Riwayat.
Awesome.
And and now we're just working on new materials to release this upcoming month.
So also you are one of the few, I guess, I won't say few, but actually one of the rarest groups from Malaysia to tour in Europe. Can you tell us something about that? How does it feel? What is the experience like touring around Europe? What kind of response do you get from the people in Europe? I mean, with the music and the whole vibe that the whole persona that you guys represent. How does it feel?
Wow, it feels quite amazing to be able to share our language, our culture. To the audience here, because sometimes it's also nice that sometimes we get feedbacks from them. We can see them dancing in the festival and all. And then when we walk around the festival, people will be asking, "Hey, what did you say?" So because we had this song called like, "Hey, what is Salama? What does it mean?" So they want to know more and things like this. It's quite nice, and we learned a lot throughout all the performance that we did in Europe.
That is beautiful. And also you're sort of like representing Malaysia in the music industry as well, and in Europe, and spreading out all the things that you guys try to portray through your music. Now, speaking about the music that you guys trying to portray, the guys perform, it has so much elements of the Malay culture. Maybe you can tell us why this fusion and where this inspiration started from. Macam mana korang like start to have this ilham to start this kind of music?
So Actually, we started off with mainly like reggae and hip hop stuff. That's how we established Salamusik. But later on, I realized when we start touring in Europe, and we realized that reggae or hip hop is everywhere. You know, like if in Europe you want to find reggae, then you can actually get reggae from Jamaica. And if you want to get hip hop, you can obviously get hip hop from America. So we were like thinking like, hey, we're from Malaysia, and what can we put on the table? You know, so that's what we did. So we went back, and me together with my brother Irhas Payong. So he focused more on writing traditional music. So what we did is we tried to combine our style with our local traditional sound. So that's how it all started, and then we came to making the album Riwayat.
Wow, that's super unique and awesome, because you guys didn't just bring your brand to the world, but you also bring Malaysia with you. I remember there was a show a couple years back that you guys performed Guna Baju Melayu, I think, if I believe. That's one of the most dopest thing ever, because like you guys are so passionate and so raw to your identity and your brand. The other members of Salam Music Group, what are they up to right now, and where are they right now?
They're everywhere. They are in Salam, Kuala Lumpur, and
around Malaysia.
Around Malaysia, yeah. So we have a studio back in Salam. It's we do production stuff, and we write songs for other people, for movies or things like this. So they are active doing that, and also teaching.
Cool, that's super cool. Now, I also want to ask this as well. I mean, being in this genre of reggae and hip hop, macam mana penerimaan tu? Like in Malaysia, I bet there's a different sort of penerimaan berbanding dengan di Eropah. Can you just tell us something about the difference of the culture there, about how they received reggae music in general?
When you talk about hip hop, I mean the scene is there and it's growing bigger and bigger. When you talk about reggae is always like macam penyelit tau. Macam kalau if you have like a rock festival, then you have one reggae band or two reggae bands.
Yeah.
Much of us. But you know, it's growing. I guess that's it lah. Penambah rasa. Buat masa sekarang mungkin masih penambah rasa.
But it's gonna be there.
More, but I also wish that there will be more traditional mix with modern sound, or you know, something relate to in terms of culture. I think I'm looking forward to have more of that.
Who are your earliest influence in terms of music influence?
I would say locally, Kembara. You know, Spider. Like Too Fat.
Shout out. Wow.
There's a lot, you know. There's a lot, and
there's a lot of influence.
Yeah. So I think growing up, the music that I grew up with really influenced our music. But right now, what really influenced me in writing songs is my own bandmates. So they put in their input of what they feel like, you know, it's right. We don't really put reference when we make music, because especially when we did like the Riwayat album, there was no really like a point of reference that we can go to say like, hey, where can we find like a traditional and you know, like modern music from Malaysia, you know, or we couldn't find any reference, so we had to kind of like teach each other.
Right.
You know, the music that, you know,
help each other out, to give each other, you know, opinions and stuff. That's really cool. Yeah. So what are your future plans? Is there anything you guys have planned for the future in terms of music?
Right now we have a couple of songs that we're gonna put out online.
Cool.
For now, that's about it, and we are still promoting the third album,
the Riwayat album. All right.
Yeah, which is only available on physical. So that's a totally two different things. So yeah.
Wow. That now moving on. Like now, also speaking about culture, you know, budaya lah kan.
Yeah.
You guys have ever been to Sarawak? Any of you?
Yes, we've played in Sarawak a couple of times already. I think it's beautiful, man. I think we need to know more about the culture in Sarawak, especially the adat, you know, like the costumes, the tattoo. What is Nusantara people? You know, there's a lot.
Yeah.
So I think it's important that everybody know about this, and I think it's super interesting.
Yeah, our culture.
Yeah.
So, is there any plans to do a music influenced by Sarawak traditional instruments as well? Ada plan tak nak gabungkan tu?
Yeah, one day, definitely.
Yeah, man, we can't wait. We can't wait. Now, okay, we're moving towards to the end of our interview. Now, before that, is anybody you want to give a shout out to? And also, what is the best advice you can give to people who are into the reggae genre here in Malaysia? What's your best advice you can give?
First of all, shout out to you guys for having me here. And thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, man.
For the guys who wants to start making music in general, I think most important thing is be true to yourself and never let other people tell you, you know, that your music is no good, or you know what's important is you do, you know, because we are talking about art form here, so
of course,
try not to look at it as business point of view, you know, because the business will also first of all it's art and it has to be expressive. Yeah, I think that's
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Wow, well that's a very inspiring thing to say. And of course, like musicians as yourself, reggae used to be known as a very niche genre for the music scene, but now you guys have brought it all over the world, incorporating Malaysia culture as well. For that, thank you so much for always bringing out and showcasing our Malaysian culture around the world. And bro, someday kalau ada datang Sarawak, come to our set, to our studio, sit down, let's have a proper late night talk show session. We can talk more, and hopefully we can get to learn in each other and just perform here on, you know, Sarawak Television someday, man. The whole group, Salamusik.
Yeah, thank you so much. You guys have a good day.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Alright, once again, kepada semua yang berada di rumah, itu adalah Atjap daripada Salamusik. Kita kembali selepas itu.